It's a problem that is killing people, killing young, old, across all ages, across all genders, race, socioeconomic status. It does not discriminate through any particular status.
I didn't know that if I did these drugs, I was going to get addicted and it was going to ruin my life.
It's just like putting a plastic bag over your head and fighting for air.
If you're buying something off the street or getting it from a friend of a friend of a friend, you really don't know what you're getting. You don't know what you're ingesting. And it is the same as putting poison in your system.
It's one of those things that creeps inside your body and turns into a brain disease, which you cannot control any longer. It controls you, your life, and everybody, everything you have around you.
For a parent to say, my child's not going to do it, then they've got their head in the sand.
Another kind of depressant, both useful and dangerous, comes from the opium poppy.
The opioid problem is really a national problem, and it began by the way we were addressing pain initially. When we began to address pain more aggressively, we also saw a lot more prescription writing for medications, including opioids. In fact, there was a deliberate effort to ensure that people get as close to possible to zero level of pain, which in some ways is not physiological for people who have chronic illnesses and others. At the time, we're told is these are really not addictive substances from the pharmaceutical industry. And it turned out to be just the opposite. Obviously, the pharmaceutical companies were also not only involved, but they profited from it. And physicians wrote prescriptions. In fact, we wrote about 228 million prescriptions for these drugs for a country of about 320 million people. And therefore, what happened and began to happen is people began to get addicted.
I was on pain medication for 2 years after my car accident. I didn't abuse those pain medications. And after the doctor stopped prescribing me the medicine, I was addicted to pain pills.
When folks take opioids to help reduce pain, not only does it minimize the pain, it also makes them feel good. And when they feel good, folks want to keep using the opioid pain medications to maintain that feeling of euphoria that they have.
After the prescriptions had stopped is when I started abusing drugs off the street. It was fun for a little while, but it started getting really bad. I lost everything. By the time I was 26, I didn't have a home, I didn't have a vehicle. I had no ways to take care of my children. I was in and out of homes, I was in and out of rehabs. As soon as that drug entered my body, I didn't worry about anything else but that drug.
You develop often a drug-seeking behavior, which means that you're going to be looking for higher and higher doses, and oftentimes you're not just looking for drugs to get high, but actually to prevent withdrawal from happening.
But he has to keep increasing the dose to get the same high.
One of the worst pains I've ever went through in my life was withdrawing from opioids.
After a while, if he doesn't get the drug, he gets violently sick.
Your whole entire body is restless. You just want to move every part of your body at every single second, and it hurts. You can't sleep. You sweat. You have really bad sweats. It's like the flu or like pneumonia. That's what your body goes through.
You inject drugs into your body, into the bloodstream. You might use the needle, I might use the needle, the next guy might use the needle, and all of our blood is getting mixed up on that needle, and we're sharing any sort of diseases we have in our body through this needle use.
I didn't know that if I did these drugs, I was going to get addicted and it was going to ruin my life, because the drug turns you into somebody that you're not.
Raeann was just like the kid next door. He had a lot of things that he enjoyed doing. He loved music, he loved skateboarding. He was just a typical kid. We sent Raeann to school for a degree, and he came home with a heroin addiction. It seems that simple to me. I know it's not. There are many things that happen along the way, but that's what happened.
It grips you. There are chemical changes that happen inside your brain that make you want to continue to have these drugs and find them and take them and inject them.
Raeann didn't want to grow up to be a heroin addict. He didn't choose that. He did make some choices along the way. If you would have said to me 10 years ago that this would happen, I would have said, that's crazy, because he would have been the last person I would have thought that this would have happened to him. One night, while he was drinking at a party, he decided to smoke heroin, and that was it.
It's very important to understand that this becomes a part of a chronic brain disease. It's actually a brain disease where you need those medications to continue functioning.
Particularly with an opiate, like heroin, that's all you want, and that's all you're focused on. It was very difficult for him to maintain sobriety the whole time. He struggled for 7 years with his addiction. In 2014, he died of a heroin overdose in the bathroom of Macy's Town Center Mall in Charleston.
The worst trauma a parent can have is losing their child. So it's not just about you and taking risks, it's about your parents too.
Death is final, and he's not coming back. And that's, I think, the hardest part. Every year we had a celebration for Christmas Eve for his dad's birthday on Christmas Day. I'm sorry. And he's... And he's going to miss that. And we're going to miss that. We're not even doing it now.
It's your decision to make, actually, ultimately. It's not for us to say one way or the other. But what I would appeal to you is that this is a very, very, very dangerous proposition.
Just say no doesn't work. We all know that. That's what happened with Raeann. So it takes more than that.
It's not anything to play around with. I've lost 2 people in the past 6 months to overdose.
What would you say to this girl if you could warn her?
Man, I'd tell her to not pick up that first drug, to chase your ambitions and chase your dreams. I had a lot of dreams. I had a lot of expectations on my life and what I wanted it to be. I tell her to educate herself about addiction. Because if I would have known about addiction and how powerful addiction was, I probably would have never got addicted.
Those choices that you make all along can affect what happens down the road. And I remember just the day before he died, I was walking down the hallway and he was sitting on the edge of his bed. And he looked up at me and he said, "Mom, I'm trying. That one decision that Raeann made to smoke heroin changed his life forever. And I know that if he could have done that over, he wouldn't have made that choice.
If you choose to go down this road of addiction, nothing good is going to come of your life. You're going to lose everything. You're not going to be the person that you once wanted to be.
It's amazing to see all these beautiful faces.
Cecilia Brown sees people who are choosing to control the drug epidemic rather than letting it control them.
In spite of what I tell you, there may still be some people that make that decision. And what's important after the fact is that you get the support you need, and that you know that there are people around you that love you and care for you, and that you are more than your addiction, that you're a person full of potential and full of capabilities.
Cece and her husband Bobby hosted their third annual Overdose Awareness Day last weekend. They lost their son Ryan to a heroin overdose in 2014. Today, legislation in Ryan's name is helping people like Joey Ferguson help others.
I was able to use my story to help other people and help start a treatment center called Jacob's Ladder, and now I work with WVU through the Raeann Brown grant, and I'm helping to develop a larger treatment center. It's a 40-bed treatment center.
It's not just a message of not doing it, but it's a message for those that do. And that's a part that we miss, because it might happen.
I have to wake up in the morning and remind myself that I'm not going to get high today. It's not fun trying to recover your life once it's hit rock bottom again.
All of these folks who are affected by having either addiction or dependency or may die, they're all around us. You can do something about it. You can educate other people. You can become experts at this, understand, so that your friends don't get involved. And if you see and you suspect that someone else, a friend of yours, an acquaintance of yours, may be impacted, then try to get them help. You might just save their life. There's no more important thing to do than that.
Weighing your decisions is important, but in the long run, if you're marching to the beat of your own drum and doing your own thing, it's an important thing. You have to be independent and be strong. And it's not easy to do. So what do you do when it happens?
Today I'm in recovery, and my children I will see. My sky is my limit. Today I'm finally free. The end.
Thank you.